news is, but the dope thing, bro, is like the community is so like well together now. Like literally, when an artist will post like a plate on Twitter and be like, "Oh, who wants this tune?" They'll know it from just the video. So when they see like Excision or Slander, someone playing, they're like, "Oh shit, that's like this person," you know? And like,
Yeah.
and like people always record it, like, "Holy shit, like this guy just rinsed this guy today," and like. I think that's the coolest fucking thing, bro. Like, you have no idea how many times
You don't see that anywhere else. You don't see that anywhere else.
Literally, bro. Like literally in any other type of music, like I feel like no one ever like really does that. Like with our community, we just always look out for each other. Like for sure, me, bro. There's been so many times where I was just in the crowd. I was like, wait, holy shit, that's my fucking homie, like getting played out. And I just recorded it. I'm like, yo, this is huge, you know?
Yeah, that's super cool. I think that's the most beautiful thing about the industry that we're in is there's the ability for collaboration that isn't the same, right? Like if you get Gucci Mane and Lil Wayne hopping on the, you know, like a Lollapalooza stage, how many of other people's tunes are you gonna hear, right? Whereas someone can curate a set, let it be half their own music and then half like just other music that fits in well and tells the same story, or like they just want other people to appreciate, and it does just as well as an all original set, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Cool. So speaking of sets, when you're going to curate your set, right, what are some of the things, actually, let's backtrack on that. Away from curating sets, because we don't have as many shows and stuff going on right now. Let's just talk about music in general. Who are you listening to lately? Do you always listen to EDM? Is that basically what you go into, or is it just dubstep in our industry, or what do you like to listen to?
So right now, a lot of people, like including some of my close friends, are telling me to listen to other genres. So like, I'm actually getting a playlist from some of my homies soon, but they're telling me to listen to like specific like jazz music and other stuff. Like I've personally never like really, I'm just being honest, I've never heard of that type of music my whole life. I know what it is, of course, but they're saying listening to music like that will always like influence you and just appreciate what music really is. Like what I listen to right now is just like, I mean, honestly, just kind of what I'm making, because that's how I get influenced. I listen to a lot of dubstep. I listen to like a lot of like melodic music, a lot of feature rhythm right now, bro. Like that's been on the wave. Like I've been trying to make some of those tunes myself. Like people like Popicon, Ace Aura, like Chime, Nushi. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure how you say his name, but like he's dope. Like there's a lot of kids just killing it right now. Like Leo Tricks. Like I'm looking for new waves of dubstep that's never been heard. Basically, that's what I'm listening to right now.
Yo, speaking of never been heard, I think that's another amazing thing about like the kind of music that like you make specifically is like whenever you hear a tune, you may sometimes like even just within those sounds, there's possibility those are never sounds that anyone else ever heard before because like you just made them, right? And like that's so crazy to think about, you know? But at the same time, like you don't know what's possible in the world. You hear this thing and the song blows your mind. You see it with the lights and it hits you and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know this was possible, right? And I need to create a new framework from which my brain can interpret this new world in, where this thing exists. And like, this is so cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good you brought that up, because like, I feel like any artist, literally anyone you interview will tell you this, but like, when you first start, you're obviously like, oh, I want to sound like this guy. I want to sound like this guy. Because if I sound like this guy, I'll fucking be successful. But like, you come to realize as you work on your craft, it's like, no, like I could actually make some really dope shit like no one's ever heard. And then people could be influenced by me, and I could like give inspiration to like other people just simply just being in my room in a laptop and just making like sounds, you know? So like, I think that's like really like, I think that's like the dopest thing about music, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, let's dive deeper into that. From a producer standpoint, where do you find the courage, right, to take the liberties that it takes to build out new ways and do new things that'll tickle people's ear, right? Where do you find the courage to be that bold, you know?
Right now it's really difficult because I think there's so much talented people, bro. Like literally, a lot of motivation I get right now is because like every day I'm just watching like new like videos of like these artists on Twitter posting like sound design and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, how the fuck did they make something like that? And it's like I always kind of want to be in the loop, so I'll always try to like. It sounds weird to say, but seeing like other people make crazier shit even motivates me more, because I'm like, yo, I want to like do that as well. Like I want like I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it's just like that's how I get a lot of my motivation. It sounds really crazy because a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm just in a room kind of goofing around. Like I get motivation off like a lot of people because I get like, I love having good vibes and good positivities. Like when I see a lot of people like doing crazy shit, I'm just like, whoa, like I want to do that like as well. And it's just like always trying to stay in the loop and always trying to have my own creativity to it so we can all like have our own insane music to like play out, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense because like, I guess it's a fine line between being inspired by people and not imitating them right? But being able to take the inspirations and saying this is influenced by them without just literally completely imitating them. And at first, I remember when I first started doing videography, there were people that I watched on YouTube that I would just do shitty B versions of what they were doing, you know, but I needed to, at the beginning, build up an understanding of like what it takes to be on that level to then be able to use my own voice like creatively.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice, man. I mean, I think it's super cool because like music is one of the only things where like it's even if you don't understand like a language that music is in, like itself, you can still feel something from it.
Exactly,
like,
yeah. You
like
can still like feel like what it's about.
Yeah. So let's get into another question that I have here for you. So now with, you know, shows and stuff not being able to go on and still having to be on lockdown, what has been keeping you going creatively? Like what's been, you know, the thing that's keeping the wheel turning?
Oh, the comeback, 100%. Because I know when shows are gonna, when shows come back, God willing, by the end of the year, probably next year, realistically, like I just know it's gonna be so intense. Like I just know, like I don't know how to explain it to you. It's kind of like, you know, sometimes a lot of people, like I'm not talking about me, I'll kind of notice in the crowd, a lot of people aren't really appreciative of all types of music. And like, I feel like a lot of people sometimes like, oh, I don't want to go to the opener because I'm just being lazy. And like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think when shows come back, like everyone's going to be so, like, we're already such an amazing community. And I just like, we're all going to be so much more appreciative. Like everyone's just really going to take time to like learn like who these up and coming talent is, because like literally they haven't been to a show in a year. So the first thing they're going to want to do is go party, you know? So they're just going to want to like learn how they are. And it just like, it's just a comeback, honestly, because I just miss it so much. I just miss being with everyone and seeing the lights and just having amazing memories and like just being like on stage. Like I know I personally haven't played the biggest shows yet, but it just, I'm dying to like be in that kind of scenario where I could just play for everyone and just like inspire them to do what they want to do. Because like when I first started doing music, like a lot of people always told me, you're fucking crazy, like music's bullshit, like, you're never gonna do this, like I don't know why you're trying, you might as well just be like a salesman, like what everyone's at. I'm just like, dude, fuck that. Like you're putting a limiter to like your life. Like I don't want to do that. I want to like excel and like literally push to what I could be, you know? So like my whole point with like what's really keeping me going is just the comeback for sure. Like I just want everything to go back to normal. I just want to get back to it. Like I miss it so much. Like it honestly makes me really sad not knowing when we're gonna come back. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, dude, I resonate wholeheartedly with what you just said there. Both two things about the comeback itself, being able to, I guess it sounds like you're an optimist. And the way I define optimism isn't the denial of reality, right? Optimism is the belief in a better future, you know, a better tomorrow, the possibility of a better tomorrow. Yeah. And that's something that anybody can hold on to. So like I fuck with that heavy, man.
Thank you so much.
That I think is super cool was like, we were talking before this, we were talking about Kobe, right? And how Kobe's an influence on your life. And the whole thing about Kobe is like the idea of like, just, I'm going to put in the work and outwork you, not because there's anything against you, but because I want it more and I know what's possible.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna let you put a cap on what I can do.
Yeah, and it just like that really helped me a lot, because I was telling you this before, but I'll tell the interview, like basically growing up, like I was really depressed. Like no one wanted to talk to me. Like I was always alone, and like I could go on and on about it. It was really rough for me. But the one thing that really helped me and like everything, and for me being better mentally, was like, I was always like, okay, shit's rough right now, but when I go home, I can watch Kobe. And like, that sounds crazy to a lot of people, because like, how could someone that's famous that you never met, like, could influence you so hard? And it was just like, bro, it was just like, one, I'm from LA, two, he never gave up on his city. There were so many years where the Lakers were, I'll admit, very shitty, and he could have left and went to a better team. He could have done like a Kevin Durant and went to somewhere else and win championships. He's like, no, like, I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to show you what it is to really be like a leader, like the GOAT. And I'm just going to do whatever I could to bring the city back to lights, you know? So like, it was just going home every day and watching him like really helped me a lot. And like, it was just, because regarding to Kobe, like when I first started in the scene, when I first started doing music, like people are always telling me, yo, you should give up, like you fucking suck. And like when I was going to like shows, no one really took me seriously. I just told them like, yo, I could see myself taking over the world in a couple years. And that's nothing cocky. It's just like, I could see myself working really hard to get there. And everyone's like, you're fucking tripping. Like the most I can see is dubstep is an opener. And like, I've heard it all, bro. And it just keeps me going. Like, obviously I'm not gonna lie. It hurts me a lot to hear that like people can say such mean stuff to you, but like, it keeps me going. I just want to like work really hard and just get to where I think I could get. And that's it.
That's yeah, I mean, that's deep, man. There's two things that can happen, right? When your back's against the wall, you can either run or you can fight. And like when people try to put you in a corner, you're like, no, motherfuckers, I'm here. Right? Hear you roar. And I fuck with that. That's cool. I love that a lot. All right.
Like, bro, there was so many times where I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I wouldn't say I was gonna leave the game, but it got really rough for me at one point because like I'm sure you know about the industry. It's like just you have to really trust who you can talk to. And like I've been through so many situations, bro, that like I could have easily quit like this. Like anyone else would have quit. Like easily. They're like, yo, this is not for me. Like I'd rather do something where I'm like loved and like et cetera, et cetera. But it's like I know this is what I love. I know this is my passion, and I'm not gonna give it up because some scrubs are saying like something false about me, you know? So it was really hard, and it's like I learned that in this game it's a lot of challenges, but I know I can succeed them for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's a conversation that we get to have now about where the industry's going, where we get to say, okay, so basically the world as we knew it is gone. Two things we get to do now. We get to have a conversation about what we liked from that old world, what we're bringing back immediately. We also get to have a conversation about what we didn't like. What are some of the things about what are some of the things that you're excited for bringing back, right? For like to be able to do our industry, but what are some of the things that you think maybe we might have been missing in our industry that like we could start building out, you know? Like I know for me, it was doing things like these conversations, you know? It's doing things like we need to have more conversations with people in the industry about what we want the industry to look like.
Exactly. So like I'll start off with what I liked before, you know, like COVID and everything happened. Like I just liked how I'm talking specifically about the scene, how like everyone was always together, like everyone was, it was just, it sucks. And I'll always till I'm a grandpa stutter about this because people always ask like, what's the vibe like? And I really don't know how to explain it. It's just like, when you're there, like when everything's just going on, everything is just beautiful. It honestly feels like another planet. Like when I like going to like EDC, it's like a whole other planet. It's just like everyone loves the same music, and like it's not in my eyes, it's not even about partying or doing drugs. It's just about everyone coming together, like seeing who they love and like making the best memories. And like till the day I die, that's like what I love the most. You know, that's like the reason why I'll always keep on going. Like even if like even wherever my life takes me as like an artist, even if I end up like reaching full potential, I'll always even go to like the crowd and like try to interact and try to like be with people, because like it was just, you don't like that, it's just the best, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, what I say I couldn't like about it is just like so some of the scene I feel like is not really appreciative of everything, and like some people just get really like, I don't know, like I'm sure obviously if you're in the scene, I'm sure you know about like the recent allegations of like base sector and dad's dick, and I could go on, and it just hurts my heart to see like that people could do that kind of stuff. Cause like for me, I have 4 sisters, so I can never like imagine like anyone touching like any girl in a weird way. So like I don't know, bro, just seeing shit like that really hurts my heart. And like just because you have a name doesn't mean you could like rape someone and think it's okay, or like think like you could do whatever you want, because it's not. Like we're all human at the end of the day. We all like, just because your name is Datsik and my name is like Chassi doesn't mean you have more power than me. We're the same person, you know? Like everyone has to be respected equally, and like that's what I hate about the industry. Just like when I told you when I first started coming up and I was just trying to be friendly with everyone, like everyone was just like, oh, I had a labor release, so this guy could fuck off because like he doesn't have shit. And like I noticed when I got my DPMO 3 signing, a lot of people that told me, oh, this guy's never gonna play your song, this guy's never gonna sign or whatever, started hitting me up. And I was just like, dude, that's really fucked up. Like, just keep to your word. Like, if you don't want to support me, don't support me. So I think that's like, sorry to rant about it, but that's like literally what we need to change. We just need to like appreciate everyone and just respect everyone. Like, bro, like you'll see any like, I don't know, like I don't even have any situations with anyone. Like I'm just all loving and everything. And like the only thing I've ever had with someone in the past was because I gave all my love and they decided to turn their back against me. So I just told them like, what the fuck, you know? So it just, I don't mean to rant. It's really hard. I just feel like a lot of people are not really appreciative and people try to like compare themselves like an AT&T bar, but that's not the case, bro. Like we're all human. Like it's like you're an alien and I'm like human. Like we're all the same person. It's like, why do you have to take advantage of girls? Why can't you just be like a gentleman and talk to them? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just shit like that.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad. I appreciate your honesty there because
of course,
it's a conversation that some people had to be forced into understanding why that wasn't okay, right? Which is so crazy to me. I'm someone that was raised by my mom, raised by my sister and my grandma, right? And my family's from Nigeria. So like the whole conversation of like people using power in situations to fuck people over is someone that makes me very angry. And so seeing dons like that, people that have been like titans of the industry, right, have like, there's a quote, it's like, eventually all of your gods, your false gods will start to show their clay feet, right? All these people that we put as gods will show they're just the clay people underneath and they do fucked up shit. And so it's like, one, we gotta stop putting people like those on a pedestal. You gotta separate the artist from the person and you can be in love with someone's artistry and someone's brand, but like you don't have to be in a cult following and do some of the things and be blind to some of the things that are going on, you know? And at the end of the day, there's no way for anyone to always know what's going on. But whenever there are things that come to light, like how it has been lately, if you then just decide to turn a blind eye, that is willful ignorance, which is the same thing as being complicit. Yeah,
exactly. And I see what you mean. And like, honestly, like going to this topic too, like I honestly wish I took my dad's advice as a kid, like really seriously. Cause like, obviously, you know, when you're a kid and your parents always give you advice, they're kind of like, yo, shut up. Like I know what I want and stuff. Like, I'm being real, bro. Like my dad told me when I was a kid, I'm not even lying to you, these exact words, like all these motherfuckers are shady. You're gonna have a handful of people that's really gonna love you and like only give respect to people that give you 100% respect. So like, like when I was a kid and like even now, I was telling you when I first started to see, like I was always trying to go out of my way to like please people and like always trying to be like, oh, maybe if I do this much for them, like they'll really appreciate it. But no, like they'll appreciate you no matter what, you know, they'll appreciate you if you have $1 and $1 million, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you gotta find people like that and it's really rough because especially in the scene, a lot of people seem like they care about you, but like once you fall, like no one will give a fuck. So like, it's just like the move, like the what's the word for it? Sorry, like the advice I could give you is to like always move forward and like never let someone like bring you back and always know like who's real. Like, and obviously within the first day you won't know, but if you know that like someone's not there with you, don't even try because like it's just gonna you're just gonna end up getting more depressed, more sad, and you're like, why doesn't this person like me? Just it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense because why keep wasting your time and energy, you know, on something that you can clearly see like is not for you? Like no one can ever take something that's made for you. So if that situation like isn't panning out, it wasn't for you, you know? Yeah. Damn, that's tight. So, okay, kind of spinning off of that, let me ask you this question here. What is some really bad advice that you've heard that people should not follow, right?
In like life or the scene?
We can do it in life or in the scene. Like for me, some bad advice that people like told me in the beginning was like, dude, find one kind of camera, right? And get all your stuff on that and like stick to that and learn how to do that. Like, no, that makes me a one-trick pony. There's so many different nuances and like different machines that I can use at my disposal. That like, I just did a set the other day for Tech Savvy. Shout out Tech Savvy from Denver. And we did like 2 different cameras on the set and we did 2 different like all these different camera angles. And if I would have been like a one-trick pony and only known, well, I can only use Canon. Then, like, I wouldn't have been able to express this kind of creative vision. So what's some bad advice that you've heard that people should not follow?
One advice I can tell you off the bat is you need a fucking fancy studio to make music. Like, cause I know, like, obviously I know when people first start, like people watch like deadmau5 videos and everything. So I know deadmau5 has like a masterclass or something. Like they'll have a whole setup and it just like, dude, I literally produce with this. Like my songs that's getting signed is with a normal laptop. Like I literally produce in my bed. I don't have a fancy desk. Like I know that's not like, obviously I wouldn't like say advice to produce in bed because I get really lazy, but like, it's just a general fact, like don't let anyone really tell you that you need this to do this. Like you can make it out of anything. And like the main, I'll say this 5 times, like main thing is don't let anyone dictate your life. Because if I let people dictate my life, I would have been literally probably a depressed salesman trying to sell like stupid cosmetics or some bullshit. Like I realized my potential in life, and like, because the thing is, a lot of people, I forgot how exactly he said the quotes, I might be wrong, but I love, bro, I could get into this all day, but I love watching interviews. And like Kobe had a specific interview and you just like, a lot of people are when you make it to a specific part in life, you're like afraid of fear. Like you're afraid, like let's say if I, like when people are telling me like, oh, don't do music because like you're gonna fail, like no matter what, like it seems like impossible to do. Like they were just fearing that I couldn't do it, but why would I listen to them? Why would I be afraid of fear? Like I wanna like, that drives me. I wanna like push myself and like get to that goal. And like, I know what I love. So why would I be afraid of fear, like of what people are saying, you know? Cause like when you start up with music, like people are like, oh, you can only do this, you can only do this. You'll never be bigger than this guy. Like, but why be afraid by fear? Like do what you want to do what you love, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. One of the quotes I live my life by is kind of close to what you just brought up there. It's the person that thinks he can do something and the person that thinks he can't are usually both right.
Yeah.
You know? It's a decision.
Exactly.
And that's why everyone talks about Kanye. Everybody says all this crazy stuff, like separating the crazy political stuff he's doing from the artist himself. He believes in himself, and that's why he makes the music that he does.
Exactly. Totally agree on that.
Okay, so one of the last things I'm not gonna keep you for too long. I appreciate you having this amazing conversation.
No worries.
This has been so dope, dude. One of the last questions I want to ask is about, I want to talk about something a little bit more serious. I want to talk about mental health awareness. And I know that sounds like kind of like a meta topic, but I know we have a stream coming up on Grimefest and you made it really adamant that this is the charity that you want to be donating to. I would love to give you, the people, you know, a chance to hear why this is really important, you know?
So let's do it. So I'll make the first announcement here for everyone watching. Like we're gonna be doing a chapter 2 of Grimefest, which will be announced at a later date. But so the first okay, my whole thing on life is like I always try to help out people who really like need it. 'Cause I know as a kid I really needed help with a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people like took that for granted and didn't really help me. So I just want to be the person that could help out, you know, whatever I could. So the first stream we did, which was like a couple weeks ago, right? Like I knew like the Breonna Taylor thing is like a really fucked up situation. Like I'm sure we could talk about that for hours. Like the cops are still alive and like it's really fucked up, but we need justice served. And like I don't understand, like from the story that I know, because obviously I'm not too into political stuff. Like I heard cops went in the house, shot her in her sleep or something. Like she's dead. No one's doing anything about it. Like that's fucked up, you know? Like and like I wish that just didn't happen. It really breaks my heart. Because at the end of the day, like I told you, I'm a positive person. I just love positive vibes. I'm just trying to like, you know, lift everyone up and whatnot. So like that was the reason why I did the first stream about that. And the second stream, like the one that we're doing soon, I was just like, okay, the quarantine's happening right now. Everyone's really struggling, but what's the one thing that we could really help everyone in? And it was mental health. And the reason I bring that up is because I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. Like I feel like, for instance, with the whole Kanye thing, like even myself, I'll admit, like I would look at his stuff and be like, yo, like, what's he saying? He's saying some crazy stuff, you know? But at the same time, it's like no one really understands his message because he's in a hole. Like he's mentally not there. And I feel like for a lot of people, that's really rough. And especially just everyone like being trapped in a home and everything. Like I've been hearing the worst stuff. Like, it really hurts me. Like I've been hearing like suicide rates going up, like people going crazy. Like I could go like on, and it really hurts my heart because no one's really like taking this seriously. Like the only thing that people really care about is, when are we gonna fucking like take Molly and get drunk again and go to a show and like go to a club and like see YG and like, cool. Like I understand like, people need to have fun after a while, but it's like there's more serious things happening, and like while we're all trapped here, we should all be coming together and trying to find a solution to how we can help each other. So like I'm currently trying to, like I was telling you guys in the group chat, I currently have a couple of charities in mind, but I'm trying to find like the one that really is bringing out the right message and the one that's really gonna help us, because all I know is when she goes back to normal, like obviously it's gonna be amazing to like live life, go to shows, have fun, have memories and everything, but mental health will always be a bad issue. And I feel like people are just gonna forget about that when like stuff is back. So like I wanna do something where like, I know I might not be the biggest artist and I might not like get everyone to hear my message, but like for the people that's listening, I would just want people to know like I really care about you, and like from someone that struggles right now a lot, because I'm literally trapped in a garage room like every day and like not knowing when life's gonna come back. Like I just wanna like advise people to take it seriously and really like, you know, I'm sorry I'm stuttering. There's just so much I can say about it. It's just like it's something that I really want the point to get across, and like people aren't taking it seriously, and I just really hope one day people like open their eyes and just see how like serious of a thing it is.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because I agree completely. I think that it's something that's super serious, but it's also something that we have grown to get more and more things that we can do to help us ignore it, right? Where we can like find all of the parties and all of that. But now that we are face to face with ourselves in a room by ourselves, and like we can't run away from it, a lot of people are starting to find out that like they can't just keep chasing these demons away. You can only live above them. You can't ever defeat them. You have to learn how to actually deal with them. And so I'm glad we have the space to have these kinds of conversations, because another thing about our industry that people don't talk about is the wear and tear on artists emotionally, spiritually, you know, mentally, that it takes to you know, there's so much that I'm sure that you create that doesn't come out, right? There's so many no's and missed opportunities and misconnections that don't get talked about and don't get acknowledged. And so like that's super tough too. And so like everyone has their different spaces of things going on, and like the more that we can all come together to find like what works and like share what works, and holy shit, think about the kind of world we're gonna have, you know?
Literally, and I'm really hoping like, at least if it's not our generation, which I'm praying and I'm gonna do everything I could in my part to make it, at least the next generation is like woke, you know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of people thinking like, oh, life's about TikToks and like you need Ferraris and stuff and all this shit. Like, no, like what you just said, we need to all come together and just try to make all of us happy. Like, there shouldn't ever be a situation where, oh, because he looks weird, I'm gonna bully him or this or that. Like, you know, like we should all be together, like trying to like, you know, like just do everything together.
And I will tell you this, I think that is the most interesting thing that I've found on TikTok. It's very interesting. You'll see on TikTok these communities of people where, like, if there's a really big active community that just went viral, where it's like the Tourette's syndrome community. And I know growing up, people used to watch videos of people with Tourette's and laugh at them on YouTube, you know, not realizing that it is a disorder. It's something that plagues a lot of people and can afflict their day-to-day lives. But now you have these people that are coming together and they're sharing their stories and finding community and like being able to create cool and innovative content without, like, for a long time, they've been alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, like, back to our industry. A lot of us that are in the EDM industry, we're literally, like, we've been maybe rejects for half of our lives, right? And then now all of a sudden we found a bunch of people that are just like us, right? From being the crazy headbangers in the front to the quiet kids in the back. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are, you're here, so we love you, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, that's our fucking people, and I love that.
Exactly. That's why, like, I don't even know, like, you don't understand. There's so many situations. I know this might sound really random. There's so many situations where I'm just chilling in the middle of a crowd, and like at a rap show, if you were to talk to like someone in the middle of the crowd, they'd be like, fuck off. Like, I don't know you. Like, what the fuck? Like, so much people. Like, I remember I was with like my squad quite a few times, and someone random, we just started headbanging with them. And they're like, yo, I'm literally alone. Like, my squad left. Is there any way we could kick it? And like, them, like, their family, and like literally anything, like I would give them water, like gum, like anything, like, yo, like I got you, like blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just like little stuff like that, you know? And it's just like, I just like, it's because I know how it feels, because I literally grew up being alone, and it fucking sucks, and I don't wish that upon anyone. So like anytime I can literally help, like I'll always do that, so.
Dude, I love that. And again, it's one of those things where you can't really like, until you've experienced that, right? Like, that's how one of my best friends over, like, all of my people that are my best friends now over this last 2 years met at shows, you know, just random.
Yeah, literally.